Welcome to another edition of the Battery Podcast.
Today we will be going over sugar cravings on my end, sugar cravings and rediscovering awesome music, and then
I did a pretty gnarly poll for deadlifts recently, and I'm super proud of that. But first, Jesus here has some decent news about his tax or his student loan debt.
Yeah, so I recently I've been going back and forth with Great Lakes, which is the borrowers lenders that I got it from. And there's this lawsuit going around with my school, and how they didn't handle it as well as they should have. Anyway, there's a possibility that my loans might get forgiven. But I told them, listen, I'm going to have the money by the end of next month, by the middle of next month, as a matter of fact. So if I don't, they told me that to wait a little bit while, to wait a few weeks, and I might get my loans forgiven. And I told them, well, I'm going to give them till the end of May. And if I don't hear from them at all by that time, I'm just going to pay it all off.
Which is a shitty situation because you can literally save a couple grand.
Yeah.
If they do forgive them, but you just made up your mind that you don't want to.
Yeah, I made up my mind. It's like I've made the decision. I said, well, look, if I get the loan, I'm not emotionally attached to money. That's the thing.
Which is a good thing to have.
Yeah, I'm not emotionally. To me, I find value in in certain situations. I find I'm very good at finding the value of things, and I can ignore money. And in this case, I value my freedom a lot more than $4,000. So, another thing too is I set out a goal from the end of last year. I made it a goal that by the middle of this year, I'm going to finish paying off my loans. So, regardless of the outcome, I told them I'm going to give them till the end of May, and if I don't hear from them again, I'm just going to pay it all off, and then I expect never to hear from them ever again. I don't ever want to hear, see, or anything from them ever again. So, either way, like I said, I know for a fact that by the end of May, I will have all the money, and I will pay it off, or I will get it, or I get my refund, whatever. Either way, I'm cool with either.
Another thing is, have you learned your lesson on debt?
Yes. Don't get into debt, you fucks. Seriously.
Easy as that.
It's so easy. Simple. And again, like I'm right now. Again, I'm like just at that point where I just want to get this out of the way because I want to start my life.
Yeah. Like we were talking a little bit about this before we started the podcast, but or before we started the episode, but you're just like, I rather just, money comes and goes.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it ain't that big of a deal because we can always come back up.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. You could always make money. Whether, again, if you're.
Get a job, you fucking ape.
Yeah, exactly. Or start an online business, or
that's a lot better.
Or start a online platform, i.e. podcast, i.e. like yours truly, us.
That's fucking right,
yeah.
Perro.
So there's a lot of options out there, and then build your platform from there.
Oh, another thing before we start, really. Funny story is some guy came in earlier to the gym, and I was just there, just chilling, being useless, and fucking the guy just asked me, he's like, yo, are you married? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm 21. I'm not thinking about that shit right now. He's like, good. Don't. He's like, don't fucking get married, man. I'm like, oh, so many people tell me the same shit.
I told you that too.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned that shit. Like, wait, like he just randomly
literally just signed. He clocked into did his pass or typed his numbers and shit. He's like, hey, are you married, man? I'm like, it caught me off guard. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, no, I'm 21, dude. I'm not thinking about that shit right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, good, don't, like, just adamant about that. And I was like,
But how old was this guy?
oh, he's probably like 45-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I've been through three marriages. I'm like, dude, you should have learned your lesson after the first
First
one, man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, dude, it's so crazy because, and I was, you know what's so funny is like I was literally thinking about that on my way to getting coffee. Literally, I swear to God. So I was thinking about that. I was like, man, like, here's the thing with my stance on when it comes to marriage. It's like I'm 100% for marriage. I think marriage is a good thing. I think it's good for society. I think it's keeping the nuclear family is what's kept society moving forward for centuries, for millennia. It's tradition, and there's a reason why it's tradition, because it works. It's a formula that actually works. Again, I'm 100% for marriage. Ideally, I would love to get married, but I also live in the real world, and in the real world,
women can take all your shit.
Yeah, it's like, dude, the laws are 100% against the man. Like, the woman has to be like, and I know this because of my I have a good friend of mine who pulled off the impossible. He pulled off Mission Impossible. But basically, okay, so let me rewind here. What I'm trying to say is that the sanctity of marriage is no longer the same as it's not held into high account like it was back, 70,
even 100 years ago.
Even 100 years ago, 60, 70, 80 years ago.
It's just recently that marriage got fucking
so what it is
destroyed.
it's since the 1970s with the no-fault divorce laws that were implemented. Basically, what happened was, before with marriage, in most cases, if not all cases, that marriages were done through the church, or through if not the church, then by signing a legal contract, I guess. And then somewhere along the line, the government decided to stick its dirty fingers into marriage, and basically they decided, oh, you need a marriage license, and you can get it through us. By the way, if everything goes south, the man will have to pay 50%, or will have to give 50% of his earnings to the woman, regardless of his income. And it's just changed the dynamic of marriage and male and female interactions now. So it's no longer the same. It's like it's a walking in landmine almost. Yeah.
Well, for women, it's just like it's a better deal for them.
It is definitely a better deal. And which by the way, so I'm going back. I have a good friend of mine who pulled off the impossible, and this is just an extreme case, but basically, the only time the court will ever actually back the man up is if the woman is Satan. Literally Satan.
Nah, I don't even think then, because I've heard of a lot of Satanist women or fucking evil women that still get away with murder in the system.
Well, yeah, in this case, it was, what happened was, and dude, this guy, he will remain anonymous, but he exercised extreme patience, and he basically, because he knew his wife so well, he let his wife fall into her own trap.
Nice.
That she set up her own trap, and he just kind of waited and patiently just chilled for a while, because they were in a custody battle because there's two kids. So it's even worse when kids are involved. It sucks. But so there's two kids. He's in the custody battle with her, and what happened was, he waited until his finite opportunity, which is when one day she called him while she was under the influence of shrooms. She called him, and she was tripping out, and she was freaking out. And she left a voicemail left a voicemail in his phone saying, "I'm freaking out. I'm on shrooms. I'm with my current boyfriend right now. We're in Las Vegas, and all this and that." And
so she decided to call him.
She called him. Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, it worked
miraculously,
out for him. Yeah.
And so basically left an entire voicemail saying, basically telling the courts, I am an unfit mother. because I do
Yeah.
I do drugs and go to Las Vegas and party with my current boyfriend right now. And so he had that I remember too. He actually he came up to me the next day and showed me the voicemail. And then a week later, he took it to court finally, and his lawyer showed the judge and the jury, the voicemail, and the judge ruled that she is truly an unfit mother and that he is going to get full custody. Full custody, dude. He gets to decide if the mom gets to see the kids or not.
That's unheard
That's
of.
unheard of. That's unheard of. That's like 1 in a million. And I applauded him. I was like so
That's
happy.
impressive, yeah.
That's impressive. And again, it's because he just kept his cool. He was patient. He didn't lose his mind or anything like that. And it's insane like how he pulled this off. And I just hung out with him a couple of weeks ago. We hung out together. We talked, and he's doing good. He's dude, this guy's a saint. Like, he actually, I don't know if I would be as forgiving as he is, because his wife, like, I'm not gonna get into it, but basically giving him hell, like lots of hell, and like he is actually allowing the wife to see the kids, which I mean, I understandably, because the kids they need to be around the mom regardless. So, like, as long as the mom isn't under the influence or anything like that, or making bad decisions that also directly affect the kids. So he's thinking about the kids. I understand that. So of course he's letting the mom have the kids. I think for like a day out of the week or something like that. But he has.
It could be completely reversed.
It could be completely reversed. Exactly. So he has full custody. God bless him. Like, I'm super stoked for him. And yeah, it's just
that's such a win, though, dude.
It is a win. It is a ultimate win. But again, he basically let her set her own traps because he knew her. He knew that she's a party girl who goes out and does drugs and does all this stuff. And then, but anyway, so again, with me, it's like I've been put in a position where it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy my life. Make money, do the things that I love to do, and not worry about society really telling me, hey, I need to get married.
Moral of the story is, don't get married in America.
Yeah. That's the other thing is, chances are if I ever do get married, more than likely it's gonna be to a foreign girl. Also, prenup,
or just the sickest prenup. Money can buy.
The sickest prenup money can buy. But dude, here's the thing.
That's what I'm scared about.
Because like, even if, no matter how good the prenup is,
they can still get away with this shit.
Well, the judge can just decide off a whim that the prenup gets thrown out.
No fucking way. Yeah. What's the point of a prenup then?
That's the thing. Yeah,
that's fucking stupid.
That's why I'm saying.
Wow.
But that's just fun. It's funny that we went down this tangent because like we're very aware of this, but not a lot of people are. So listen carefully. Be very aware of who you are marrying, okay? If she or he, whoever that you decide, whoever you decide to get married to is an absolute narcissist who puts themselves before you, I mean, and will not take into account anything other than themselves, and also don't actually value the sanctity of your marriage, and you could tell relatively early on what they value, then don't do it. Yeah,
I say just play it safe and
play it. This is one, like, I'm a wild guy. Like, my friends will tell you, like, I'm down. Like, I've done things where I'm like, how is it that I've made it this far in life and not lost a limb? Literally, I'm talking literally speaking, and this was one of those things where I'm very conservative about. Like, I'm like, eesh, I don't know if I'm willing to go down this route. And yet I see a lot of people that are wild in this route. They are wild in the sense of, oh, I'm just gonna have like 4 kids with this woman that I don't necessarily know, and then I'm gonna marry her,
and then we'll see what
and
happens.
hope for the best.
No, no, no.
Yeah. No, I my eyes are wide open. I see exactly how things are. It's not marriage. It's that the state ultimately what happened is the state decided to stick its dirty fingers in the sanctity of marriage and perverted it into what it is today in this day and age.
Which is like it's
a business contract now.
It's a business
and
contract.
now here's the crazy thing. Now that you bring that up, it's a business contract, and on top of that, there are actual businesses of family court and divorce lawyers. These are real businesses. Some law firms only run their business off of just divorce and family court. It's insane. Like, there is money to be made, I guess. And okay, here's and just I'm gonna end it here. But basically, what happens is the ultimately the state wants as much power, which is why I don't understand why people want to give the same government more power. But the state wants the ultimate power so that they can remove the father from the household, and then they can influence the next generation, the kids, by becoming Big Daddy government. And how do they do that? Is they basically take the resources of the father, they take it as for themselves, the state, and then they assume the position of father, and when the government becomes the father of the household, it never
quote
ends
unquote
well.
father, yeah.
Yeah, it just never ends well. And then
that's how you get us like
a broken society.
Yeah.
You that's a broken society right there. So we're seeing it now more than ever. It's a lot
kids
more
don't
prevalent.
finish school.
They don't finish school. They
usually crimes are higher.
Exactly. They have kids at like 16 years old. They end up having babies at an early age, out of wedlock, and all this craziness. And it's just we're seeing it. We're seeing it a lot
it's
more.
very present in our society right now.
So
don't get married. If you do, know what the hell you're getting yourself into.
Exactly. Like, really. Anyway, back to our initial discussion. You pulled 419.
419.
419.
It's not the world record, but I mean, I haven't pulled anything like that in over a year. So since the competition, and I mean, the week before, the guy trained me like crazy. So we worked up to, I pulled 407, which was, I mean, that's regular for me. I get 1-2 reps with that, 3 on a really good day, but I haven't done that in forever either. But so last week I caught the 407. We were just working. He was fixing my technique, just helping me out with my form and everything, because I thought I had everything dialed down. But it's crazy when you meet someone as smart as this. Like, he's just like, no, dude, fix this. It'll help you with this. I'm just like, holy shit, there's so much I didn't know. And whenever I deadlifted, I just felt like the boss, because every time I put the weight on, it usually went up. And it was just like, I'm used to that. But when he works through this different way, and it's just like, he's fixing me, and I know he's fixing me, but I didn't. We tried pulling 419 last week, and it just didn't. Or I think it left the ground a little bit, but I felt fucking. It was a shit pull.
You fell short.
Yeah, it was way short. It was maybe an inch off the ground, if that. But it was just like one of those that you just felt like shit. It didn't move. And this week, he was right there helping me, making sure I was doing shit right. And it was a clean pull too. I mean, last week I was shaking on 407 a little bit. Like, I hate doing that. Like, that usually never happens.
That's an indicator that something like one thing might overcompensate for the other.
So I usually don't shake. If I do, it's with super heavy, like for myself. But the 419 was just clean. It was not easy, definitely not fucking easy, but it was a slow pull, but it was clean compared to last week's. And I was fucking stoked.
How was how did when you set it down? Was it a slam, or did you like somewhat of a
It was probably a slam, not full slam, but like I was just like, I held it for a second. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Well, I mean, once you held it, of course.
I never let it go. I never let it go when I'm up top, because you shouldn't get it in the habit of doing that apparently, because during a real competition, if you let it go at the top, even if you lifted it, it doesn't even count as a pull, or you could get disqualified for some reason. I think Eddie Hall, like 2 years ago, Eddie Hall is like the world record deadlifting guy in the world. He's the world's strongest man, I think, this year or last year. He got like 1,049 pounds or 1,100 and something pounds, and his first attempt on breaking the world record, he got it up and he let it go. He got it up and he just let it go on top, and he was just stoked, and then the referee didn't count it, and he was just devastated. So after watching the documentary of that, I was just like, no, I'm never letting it go until it hits the ground again. So I'm always attached to that fucking bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a super sick pull. I was stoked. But like, oh, by the way, I'm walking around like at 104, 105 with the carnivore diet.
Wait, so are you still on it? Are you?
Yeah, I'm like half on it, half off. No, I'm more on it. More on it. It's just I did introduce carbs again because I was just scared.
Yeah, you were dying. Like you were pretty.
Yeah, I was pissing a lot and like constantly, and that one day I felt like shit because I took way too much MCT oil.
Speaking of which,
so I overdid it on MCT oil, and that just fucked up my stomach that whole day, and I felt like I was gonna die. Like I didn't feel good at all, and so that's when I reintroduced carbs for the first time, and like it was almost a month. I made it almost a month with the carnivore diet, but it just scared me so bad that I just reintroduced it just to settle my stomach down. I ate some toast, took some Pepto-Bismol, ate a banana just to have my stomach normal again, because I was on the toilet all day and then I was just in bed.
I think the other thing too is like, I mean, you know, and it comes down to it. You and I are radically different people. Yeah, like physically, we're very different people with different needs. I would say my needs are like the average person, whereas yours is different. You probably need a lot more protein, definitely a lot more protein. I can get away with eating less protein and retaining my muscle, especially if I eat enough fats. Yeah. You, on the other hand, I think you definitely need the protein and the carbs too. Yeah. The other thing is,
I actually felt pretty good without the carbs.
Like, well, that's where I'm at right now. But with you,
well, it's a radically different diet too. Like I've never just not eaten carbs. I didn't think it was possible. Yeah, until very recently.
And here's the thing, and where I'm at right now, like this is nothing new to me. I've been doing this I've been doing intermittent fasting for 1.5 years now, close to 2 years, and I've been doing keto, I guess you could say, like for 3 to almost 4 years. But this is the first time where I've gone like almost an entire, like I'm halfway through now the month, but this is the longest I've gone without like any cheat meals or anything like that. Yeah, you know.
Surprisingly, it wasn't for me. It wasn't hard. I reintroduced carbs because I thought I was gonna die. Yeah. But surprisingly, it really wasn't hard. Once you get past those first 2 days, for me at least, I went the whole month just steak, eggs, bacon, cheese.
I've been doing raw eggs, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I started doing raw eggs early on in the carnivore diet because I got over cooking them and washing the dishes. I literally I looked it up. I started boiling the eggs for like 5 seconds, and I fucking drank them after that. And it's just a lot easier.
Oh my gosh, so much easier.
How does it taste bad?
It doesn't taste like anything, but I don't mix it. I just
you just chug them like that?
Chug like
I used to. I usually scramble the eggs before I chug it, but it was just an easy way to get down those 300 calories, 400 calories.
Speaking of which, actually another thing, you brought a good the whole raw egg thing. Like, there's this guy on. I don't know if he has his own website. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel, but he has an Instagram account. I discovered this guy, I think 2 years ago, and his name is Logan Fusion Lean. So you can look him up on Instagram, Logan Fusion Lean, if you have Instagram. I don't have it, but anymore. And this guy, he's not like a fitness competitor or anything. He's just a super shredded guy. Like I think he walks around at like 9% body fat like year round because he does all keto, like straight keto. He's just one of those all or nothing
Constant keto.
And the reason why is because his backstory is he actually had a brain tumor.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so he had a brain tumor.
Yeah, I was actually reading that ketones and CLA reverse cancer, or like help kill cancer cells.
Yeah, they really do help kill. Yeah, and so this guy, he was on he was put on a full blown ketogenic diet during the time that he had his brain tumor, and it really helped shrink that tumor. I don't know if he went through chemo. I'm not sure if he did. I'd have to look him up. But basically, he recovered fully from his brain tumor.
That's
he no
impressive.
longer has.
If he didn't go through chemo, I mean, I read a lot that chemo just kills you.
Well, and then going back to with Victor Pride.
Yeah.
I don't know if episodes.
I've listened to a couple. I remember him talking about it. Yeah.
Right. Like someone asked him, like, what would you do if you ended up having a like cancer? Like if you had cancer of some sort. He said, well, first thing I would do is I wouldn't go to the doctor first. I would first fast for an entire week. He said I would fast for the entire week and get all the toxins out of my body. But anyway, going back to Logan Fusion Lean, so he does all keto. His backstory is he's a cancer survivor. He had a brain tumor. Now he's an advocate for the ketogenic diet, and he helps train people. Like he's a personal trainer, an online trainer as well. And recently, he's been doing this experiment where he's actually eating 12 eggs every day, like a full dozen eggs, and he says he feels like fantastic. He feels like higher energy. He feels stronger. And the thing is, going back to like the old Vince Gironda diet of the steak and eggs diet. Vince Gironda, again, who if you've listened to past episodes, I've talked about. Hey, he's an old school bodybuilder from the 50s. Basically, this guy was ahead of his time. He was also way too shredded for his time in his time. During the 50s when he was in his prime to win any competitions. Like at that time,
he was still big too.
He was a big guy, but he was super lean, and so like
that wasn't what they were looking for. At the
they
time.
were looking for oddly enough the guys he was training, which was Larry Scott, who was the first Mr. Olympia, and which Larry Scott was one of his main students. But anyway, this guy was he was ahead of his time, and he said that eating 12 to 15 eggs a day can have some anabolic effects in your body. Anabolic, by the way, basically is borderline steroids. Like borderline steroids. And I think that's what Logan Fusion Lean is experiencing right now. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know exactly
I was reading that eggs just have every nutrient you fucking need.
Exactly. And
so I don't know, or I mean, I think eggs are just amazing.
They're amazing. They're superior. They're like they really are. And so so I think that's what he's experiencing is just an extreme anabolic effect, but a natural one. I don't know exactly what it is. I'd have to look more into it. But I'm assuming that because cholesterol, and there's cholesterol obviously in eggs, bind together with it helps bind together with testosterone. Cholesterol helps
build testosterone.
It doesn't produce testosterone. It encourages the production of testosterone. I don't know the terminologies for all that, but it's been the studies have shown, and so I think that's what he's doing. And I think that once I'm done with like this month, because I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna try and do the 12 egg thing. And I'm gonna do it raw.
That's not gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Just I drink 6 eggs at a time.
Speaking of which, if you want next, because we sell over at Engardia.
Are they like the free range eggs?
Yeah,
too?
we have free range. We have free range eggs.
How much?
They're for my discount, because it's like normally $45, but with my discount, we could drop it down to like $35.
Dude,
so
let's get it. My dad told me to go buy a bunch of eggs from Sprouts because I told him that the eggs that he buys are trash.
If you want, you know what? After this, maybe I can call them and see if we can do a will call order. Will call is where we pick it up.
Yeah, I know.
It's down the street right here.
For sure.
I'm gonna ask them, and then it's like so. If you want, we
I will
can
talk about it after.
Yeah.
But this is dope for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so
eggs are amazing.
Eggs are awesome. Now we were talking earlier about sugar and sugar cravings, which is something that we talked this week. We went over what we wanted to go over, and this is one of the things I wanted to go over because I am astounded. I'm already like pretty much halfway through this program and this diet, and this is what I will call this one a diet because it has a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm surprised and astounded that I don't have sugar cravings.
Dude, I go...
What the hell?
Weekly, I used to go to BJ's and get a Pizookie. That has been nowhere in my fucking mind.
I haven't thought about
ever.
Pizookies at all. I haven't, like, normally because like usually when I'm eating, when I have my eating habit and I'm doing like this, I'm, steak, eggs, bacon, all that stuff.
You have that one
I'll
day.
have that one day cheat meal. Like, it's usually my Saturdays. Saturdays I'll have a cheat meal. I can't wait for it,
Yeah.
But now it's like, I know I'm going to have another cheat meal.
Eventually.
At the end by the end of the month, I'm going to have a cheat meal.
But it's just not in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
it's weird.
it's like, it's so weird. I think the thing is because I'm always full.
This diet's filling as fuck.
It really is super filling. Like yesterday, I had lamb like $7, grass-fed lamb.
Wait, is it the one you got from?
I got it from Sprouts.
Oh, nice.
I got it from Sprouts. It's $7.
Is it good?
Dude, it's legit.
I've never had it, or I don't think I've had it. I don't think I've made it.
It's okay. I mean, it's good. I'll take the strip steak over the lamb, but it's still not bad. I wanted to try it out to see if it was good, but yeah, it's good. So I'm doing that. I bought some grass-fed sausage links.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw it in the fridge, but yeah, I have grass-fed sausage links, and then I'm eating like 4 to 6 eggs raw every day now, and I feel great. Yeah, I feel great. I don't have any cravings for some reason. Like, and then like I'm surrounded, like at work especially, I'm surrounded by like people eating donuts and cookies and all this crap.
Like,
and I'm
people
like,
at work offer me, because we got a bunch of deals like buy one get one free, and they're just like, here,
you
take one.
more than anything.
Yeah.
It's
like, take a Bang. Like, fuck the Bang. Take like one of these drinks or whatever, because I know Bang doesn't have any sugar, whatever. But
let me clarify here. That's the thing is,
I never drink Bang in general, though.
Yeah, and it's our other brother and I were talking about this the other day, and I told him like, well, here's the thing. No. I was actually talking to one of my coworkers about this because she just started going back to the gym. And she was telling me, "Oh, do you ever drink like any like energy drinks or like?" I told her, "No, I only drink black coffee. Like that's it."
Dude, I haven't taken a pre-workout in months.
Coffee.
I don't drink anything. I just literally go to the gym.
I wish
and
I
kill
could
it.
do you, dude. I can't do that.
I'm fucking awesome. That's why.
Yeah, like I wish. But anyway, I told her, look, and I was talking to Fat Boy about this too, and I told him like, well, even though like for example a Bang doesn't necessarily have sugar, it doesn't have any calories, technically it doesn't have any sugar, but there's chemicals that it has, and one of those is sucralose. So even though you're not drinking any calories in, you're still going to get an insulin response from the sucralose. So you're basically just you're
kicking yourself out of the keto.
Yeah, you're exactly. You're kicking yourself not out of keto necessarily, but you're definitely you're knocking yourself out of your fast. Because you're still getting an insulin response.
So
from
if you're fasting, you usually drink coffee because it doesn't.
Black coffee, green tea, or even sparkling water. Those are the 3 go-tos.
Because they don't prohibit, or they don't have it. They don't cause an insulin response in my body. And so, some people might think that Bang, because it doesn't have anything, anything real, which should give you an indication that it's probably not really good for you.
No, yeah, I told, and again, I've gotten into fights back when I was a personal trainer, and I was working at the gym, and I've gotten into fights with some operation managers and stuff, and how like And I would do it in front of them deliberately to make sure they know I will never push any product that I don't believe in. Because as a trainer, I would have a lot of people asking me, "Hey, what should I take? What is like?" I got that was a question I got almost every day on the daily, and they was like, "Hey, how do I get in shape like you, man? How do I do this? How do I do that?" And I tell them, "Well, eat good food and train, do resistance training, and." That's it. Those are the two things. It's very simple. Don't focus on any supplements. You don't need any supplements. Supplements are for people who are looking to do like a competition of some sort, But for the average everyday guy who's trying to get into shape, just eat good food. And I told that to everybody, and they would, and I would get into fights with the managers. Hey, you're supposed to be promoting our products. We're trying to sell. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. And don't ask me to. By the way, I don't work for you. I have another different. I work for another part of the gym. So I don't have to do what you tell me. And I've gotten into fights with people like that, and it frustrated me because like the people pushing these products didn't know a lick about how to get into shape.
Yeah, so I mean I don't really push anything either. Rick buys cases of Bang. I'm just like,
I know, yeah. So and I've told him I've told him, like, dude, him and I have gotten into fights over this. Rick is my former manager. It's his
current manager.
His current manager, great guy.
He's cool.
Shout out to Rick. But yeah, no, I told, like, he would always push Bang on me. He would try to sell me Bang, and I'm like, Rick.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, yeah, Rick, like, I'm the last person that's ever gonna buy a case of Bang. Like, and anyway, look, dude, you guys don't need Bang. You don't need any of that stuff. Just eat food.
Yeah, food is
food.
It's crazy. I mean, like, I haven't been taking anything, and these workouts on the carnivore diet, they've been good. It's just the only problem is the pump isn't fully there.
Well,
I still get it. It's not fully there. Like, I remember, because to maintain my weight, I used to eat a pound of pasta a day, and I mean those pumps were pretty gnarly. But
I remember that.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, that's insane.
I fucking hated my life, man.
Yeah.
Because I had to cook it, and I had to eat all of it, or else it just tastes like shit the next day. And I mean, I don't recommend that because I didn't know shit about nutrition at that time. And I was just eating to get the calories in, just to maintain my weight, just to build, to get up in weight, just to try to get my numbers up and not to lower my own weight. But now, when I pulled the 419, I'm the lightest I've been in probably years. I'm 104, 105-ish. And when I pulled the 440, I was probably like 110. So I mean, it's not too much of a difference, but it's crazy how much I'm still maintaining my strength and my muscle mass. I'm hoping. I mean, I haven't seen much of a difference, but I mean, I'm definitely not eating as much. I'm getting like, because meat is so filling. I only get like 2,500 calories.
Same.
So like, it's hard to up those numbers.
Yeah.
But I'm not losing my strength. If anything, I feel like I'm getting a little stronger.
Yeah.
And I feel fine. Like, I feel full. It's just the pump isn't there, and a lot of people care about that. I really don't.
I did too. I did back when I first started lifting, like back when I was like 19, 20, maybe up until I got around 24. But again,
I used to quote Arnold. The pump is.
It's coming. It's like
a little cummy feeling.
Yeah. Oh, I remember those days, man, dude. And that's the funny thing is, you just reminded me, when you're eating that pasta, the last time I ever did that was back when I used to wrestle. And because like
100 years ago?
Yeah, 100 years ago, exactly. And the other thing is, like, I didn't know why I was eating the pasta. I just saw other athletes
Exactly. Well, for me, it was like, it's either rice or pasta, because those are the only two foods that I know had carbs in it. But I mean, pasta had a lot more.
Yeah.
So I was getting like 4,000 calories.
I like pasta
after
a lot
you eat
more.
it for fucking like a week.
Yeah, the thing is,
I was eating it for every day, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah, I only did it for tournaments. I only ate the pasta for tournaments. For me, it's like
Those were my meals, man. I was maintaining my weight
Yeah.
with that, and I was cooking fucking chicken. And I wish I knew about fucking.
Oh yeah,
I
same
wish I
here.
knew about
Same
all
here.
of this before.
And it's like my senior year when I was like my senior year in wrestling. Like I remember, I would cook like an entire bowl of like a top pot of pasta, and I would take it. Here's what I did. It was a pot of pasta and like a liter of beet juice. Remember that?
Yeah.
Beet juice. And I would take it to my tournaments, and right before weighing, like I would weigh in, and then I would eat the pasta. Like, or our team would always go to IHOP, and it was funny because I would watch all my teammates stuff their face with pancakes and burgers and sandwiches and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I have my own bowl of pasta and stuff, and they're like, "Why are you doing that?" I was like, "Trust me, dude, you're gonna regret that later." And of course, like in the middle of the tournament, they're like shitting themselves. they're about to throw up. Meanwhile, I'm light as I'm super light on my feet, and I still have a good amount of energy. So I'm like,
if you don't eat too much of it, you don't feel like shit. But I
Yeah.
was eating the full fucking pound
yeah,
every. Like I had a meal, especially okay. It's a pound of pasta in the box, but when you cook it, it absorbs all the water. So each one of my plates was a pound.
dude.
So and I had like 3
that's
plates. So I was eating like 3 pounds of pasta technically when it was fully cooked, and oh dude, it was just disgusting. So I felt like shit that whole time, and I'm a dumbass. I didn't realize that my
Yeah.
fucking my nutrition.
Dude, I didn't. Yeah, exactly. I didn't. I wish if I had known about about nutrition now back then.
In my mind, I was just getting my macros in.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, I could still get a lot. I'm still getting like 200 grams of protein and like 190 grams of fat and no carbs, and I've been feeling fucking amazing.
You see, you're more meticulous about.
Yeah, I recorded it
that's
all
the thing.
because I just want to make sure I don't want to lose as much weight as if I don't record it. I feel like I'm gonna go even lower in weight, and I don't want that. I want to maintain weight or get a little higher, and I mean this is the only way to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, and of course you have to be. I'm not so meticulous. I just eat once a day, and I eat until
that's
I'm full.
fine for
You know, and that's the thing. Is like the only time I was ever meticulous was when I first started doing intermittent fasting. I finished reading this book, which I still have in my car, called Man 2.0. Look this book up. This book changed my life when it came down to like fitness and nutrition. It is. I've read quite a few fitness books in my life. This is the one that like stood out above all the others. And yeah, this is Man 2.0, and they basically it gives you a formula of how to reset your insulin response. So what it is you calculate your maintenance calories, and then from there you take your body fat. There's this, I know how to do it. I just don't have the formula with me in front of me. But basically you figure out where your maintenance calories are, and then from there it's a 4-week process. The first 2 weeks you basically you have 0 carbs, and you're taking in a certain amount of protein, and then after the once you hit the 3rd week, you reintroduce carbs, like about 25 grams of carbs on workout days, and then still 0 grams of carbs on non-workout days. And then the 4th week you introduce 50 grams of carbs on workout days, and then 0 on non-workout days. And on the 5th week, that's when you go 75 to 100 grams in the normal amount of carbs, and then maybe 25 grams of carbs on non-workout days. It got to a point where you basically learned a carb cycle, and then from there, that's how you reset your insulin response levels and abilities. So, but Man 2.0, it's another book. I get no sales revenue from this. We don't have any sort of, we don't have any Patreon account, and we don't have any affiliate sales or anything. We make 0 money off of this. I just want you to legitimately help yourselves, and this is one book I highly recommend. Anyway.
What's it called? Remember I called you like earlier this week or last week? I'm like, yo, I just did a full 24-hour fast, and I didn't feel it at all. Like what the fuck? This is why I've never gone a full day without eating, because before, I mean, I was eating carbs all the time, and carbs make you hungry, or when you're introducing carbs in your body, you get hungry once your insulin drops.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this is the day after I felt like shit. I introduced carbs that day, and the next day I didn't eat for pretty much since that night that I ate carbs. I didn't eat until the next night, and it was a full 24 hours, and I was just amazed because I wasn't craving anything. I was fine, man. I was drinking my gallon of water and my jug of water, and that's all I was doing all day. And I was just like, it was like 5 or 6. I called you. I'm like, yo, why the fuck am I not hungry?
Yeah, and I think one of the things I told you was that
it was resetting my insulin.
Not just your. That's not your insulin
Like
response. It was the leptin. Leptin is a hunger hormone, and I think that's what it was, and this is why a lot of trainers encourage. They don't just tell their clients, oh, you can have a cheat meal like once a week. You know, like they actually encourage it because it helps reset leptin. The leptin, so that when they go back on their normal eating routine, they don't get as many cravings, and they don't get they don't have as much cravings, and they are not as hungry all the time. So that's all it is, and I think that's what it was that was happening to you. I'm not sure, of course. Like,
I mean, I didn't introduce too many carbs. I just ate bread or like the toast just to calm my stomach, and I ate 2 pieces of toast.
Wait, but this is directly after you were going through that
my stomach. After
so that's another. Okay, that also makes sense to say. I think your body just was it was just shocked so much that I think it just closed itself off from taking in any food or anything like that. And part of it could be the leptin, leveling of leptin. And
I don't know, because the next day I felt fine. The next day I was like, I even went to sleep early, and I got like, I think I got like 12 hours of sleep that night just because I felt like shit. And when I woke up, I was fucking great.
Yeah.
And then
I think you just got rid of all any issues that you were having that day. That's another thing that could have happened.
It's crazy how many people don't realize how fasting can help.
Dude, yeah, it's and the general consensus does not want you to know anything about
nutrition pretty much. So
anyway, we're gonna
story is consume eggs.
Consume eggs.
And try, honestly, for some people, if it's safe, if you know it's somewhat safe, if you're not, if you don't feel, or if you're not like one of those random people that have problems with your gut or anything, I would try the keto or carnivore for a bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's see how you feel. You're probably gonna be shitty for the first 2 days, but once you get past that insulin or that carb depletion, you'll be surprised.
Fine. You'll be fine, yeah.
On how good you feel.
Just careful. Make sure you are taking in enough fat, because I think that's the main thing that a lot of people struggle with. Is they think that just because they're not eating enough carbs, or any carbs at all, that they'll be fine. No, you have to increase your fats. Otherwise, your body doesn't know how to process protein by itself. Protein, again, like I've said before, protein is technically a poison to the body, but it needs to be supplemented
by
with
itself.
With carbs and fats, protein is fine to digest.
I'm trying the cryo chamber.
Yeah, let me know how that goes.
Very soon, within the next week. So I was supposed to try it this weekend, but the machine took a shit on itself, and they're gonna try to fix it.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
So, dude, the machine's like $60,000. There's some that go for like over 100. Those things are gnarly.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Me neither.
I'm not surprised that they go that for that.
It looks super high tech and everything. Well,
that concludes. I guess that concludes the episode of this podcast.
Lomachenko won, so he's a fucking tank.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
We'll get to you guys very soon.
Next week.
Laters.